Hi, my name is Kate Strayhorn, and my background's in financial services marketing. I also happen to live on a cattle farm in central west New South Wales. A year ago, I was offered the opportunity to join the SparkLabs Cultiv8 team, an opportunity to work with the world's best food and ag tech entrepreneurs. And well, I jumped at the opportunity. What I've experienced and what I've witnessed in the last year has been grit, determination and courage from all of our cohort. The level of camaraderie and collaboration has been both inspiring and energising. Our next speaker graduated from university in Boston 4 years ago and came up with a revolutionary idea to solve one of the world's major social issues, food waste. And thanks to the popularity of programs like War on Waste, we as a nation have become far more attuned to our own waste footprint. The private sector has recently taken the lead in reducing the use of plastic bags, and there's more to be done. But for the developing world, this is a very serious and very real problem. Our next team has come up with a unique technology to tackle this problem head on, and it is my absolute pleasure to introduce Quang Trong, CEO and co-founder of Fenik.
You could be my bad dream.
Hi guys, my name is Quang Trong, CEO of Fenik. And before I start my pitch, I'm going to ask you guys to imagine something. Imagine a crisp $5 bill. It's all new and shiny. Now imagine crumpling it up in your hand and throwing it right into the trash. If that seems like a completely ridiculous thing to do, which it is, then consider that over 2 billion people in the world are doing this once per week because of food spoilage. This is the problem that we're trying to solve. 2 billion people on the planet don't have access to a refrigerator. And because of this, throughout places like Africa, the Middle East, and India, up to 50% of food spoils before it's ever eaten. Obviously, this leads to a whole lot of issues. Number one, people at the base of the pyramid lose precious income each week. Next, they lose a lot of time going to and from the market, which is time that could be better spent on their farm or working. And lastly, spoilage is a big global issue. 3.3 billion metric tons of greenhouse gases are emitted each year because of food spoilage. To put that into perspective, after the US and China, rotting food is actually the third largest contributor of greenhouse gases worldwide. And if you look at what's currently in the market, it's easy to see why there's no clean solution. Number one, you've got refrigerators, which are expensive, but even worse, they require electricity to use. So if you live off-grid, you're out of luck. Now, ice coolers, or Eskies, could also work. They're much cheaper than fridges, but they require ice to use. And after the ice melts, after 2 or 3 days, you're similarly out of luck. The last solution is solar-powered fridges, but these are incredibly bulky and prohibitively expensive. This Sundancer unit right here costs over $1,500. So imagine trying to afford that living on $10 per day. But what if I told you that we have a better solution? What if it was something low cost, something lightweight, something that was easy to transport, and get this, what if it required no electricity to use at all? What if it worked on just plain water? If this sounds too crazy to be true, then I've got great news. We've already invented it. I'd like to introduce you all to the Fenik Yuma 60L cooler. How does it work? It uses a phenomenon known as evaporative cooling to chill the inside of the device. And this can double or triple the shelf life of the produce that you keep inside. Using our patent-pending phase-tech membrane, the walls of the device store water while allowing water vapor to permeate outwards. When the water evaporates, this pulls heat energy from the inside, cooling it down up to 20 degrees Celsius from ambient conditions, and even more in dry, arid environments. So, where are we now? After 3 years of product iteration and testing in Morocco, I'm very glad to say that we've completed the final version of the device. And as of 2 months ago, we are officially in mass production. Next, we are in the middle of executing a contract with USAID for almost $250,000 to distribute these units to over 1,500 beneficiaries in Morocco. We're also in talks with Siemens Stiftung Foundation and OCB Foundation for running more pilot tests next year in the Western Sahara. Lastly, since a product like this could work just as well in the developed world, we're testing the waters with a Kickstarter campaign. We actually just launched our Kickstarter last week, and already we've made $25,000 in pre-sales. Our goal is to make over $100,000 by the end of this month. So what does the way forward look like? Now that we finally have the Fenik cooler ready for the world to see, our plan is to start reaching out to development agencies and start pilot tests all throughout the world. Actually, if anyone here is from AusAid, I'd love to talk to you. Right now, we're in 2 countries, but by the end of 2020, our goal is to be in 10. Now, as for the domestic market, our plan is to keep increasing the foothold that we've created with a Kickstarter campaign by continuing to target outdoor retail markets. Our goal by the end of 2020 is to have 100,000 units in sales, which is about $6 million in revenue. Now, when you are a hardware company, a startup, a social enterprise, and you work across 2 continents, you need more than just a good team to make things work. As I like to joke, it's kind of like trying to assemble the perfect crew from a caper movie or for a bank heist. So starting with this guy that looks like Freddie Mercury right here, this is my good friend Spencer and our Chief Sales Officer. He's got over 12 years of experience in outdoor retail and deep industry connections with outdoor distributors. Jeremy Fryer-Biggs is our CTO. I like to call him the real deal. This guy knows hardware inside and out. And actually, if you guys have ever heard of a TV program called Mythbusters, he was on that show designing prototypes for them. In addition, before joining our company, he started 3 other hardware companies. And as for me, I'm the social impact guy. I have over 8 years of experience in international development, and I've worked in places from Haiti to Liberia to Vietnam. I started this idea in grad school about 4 years ago because I wanted to create a product that could help at least 1 billion people. Now, we wouldn't have made it as far as we are without some amazing partners. We're supported by government entities such as USAID, private entities such as 3M and Siemens, and lastly, nonprofit entities such as the National Geographic Foundation. To conclude, I want to introduce you guys to Hamid. Hamid was one of our first beneficiaries in Morocco when we got there a few years ago. And when we met him, he was one of these billions of people living off-grid without any access to refrigeration. Well, since beating us and using one of our prototypes, his family has been able to reduce spoilage of their food, to save time going to and from the market, and lastly, to save money. On average, his family saves about 10% of income each week. We've come an incredible way these last 4 years. And if you're like us, if you believe in a brighter future, a future where refrigeration can be sustainable, and a future where everyone can have access to a refrigerator, then please join us. Thanks.
You could be my battery.